outsource everything. Outsource everything. Let me tell you all the things that I outsource. I have my clothes picked up and washed and delivered and folded. I don't wash clothes on a consistent basis anymore because I have these two little humans who have lots of clothes that they get messy. So I use a company. We put all their dirty clothes in and then they come. I schedule it on the app. They come and pick the clothes up. They drop it off the next day. I also outsource my cleaning. I have a cleaning lady. Now I'll clean up we'll vacuum. We'll do the simple stuff every other day or so. But I have my cleaning lady come to our house once a month and clean the house top to bottom. Because that is just not something that I have time to do. Just like I don't have time to be sitting and folding clothes. Like that ain't the best use of my time. Obviously, some things I like to just pick up myself. But for the most part, we're Instacarting it. So we're outsourcing things. This podcast that you're listening to, I have a team that comes in and does the physical recording and the audio. And then I have a VA in the Philippines. Shout out to Aileen. And she's been great. That's right, busy mompreneurs. Now is the time to outsource everything. And I have created the How to Find a Virtual Assistant e-guide that can literally take you from doing everything to doing none of the things. Tap the link in the show notes. Not only do I give you the tips to finding the perfect virtual assistant, but I also list 20 plus companies that are reputable, highly recommended, and you can access them immediately to get your virtual assistant found and hired. Tap the link in the show notes for your How to Find a Virtual Assistant guide. Can't wait to help you move through life with more contentment. Hey you, welcome to Shades of Content, a show that teaches entrepreneurs how to effectively use content to market their business and stay content while doing it. I'm your host, Patrice, a wife, a mom of 3, and a 15-year public relations and marketing professional who decided to open a brick and mortar content studio 4 years ago. And I honestly haven't looked back since. Join me as I share my experiences and the experiences of other entrepreneurs who, like me, are navigating this maze of owning a business, running a family, and trying to stay sane and healthy while doing it. I'll tell you, it's an amazingly challenging journey, but I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. See you soon. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Let me know, guys, if you take your vitamins daily. Tap that poll right there and let me know if you take them daily or if you don't. I just got an email that my package, my Care Of monthly subscription package of vitamins is ready, and I'm so excited. Some of the benefits that I've noticed since taking the Care Of vitamins and supplements is, first off, the skin is giving. I'm also a lot more rested when I wake up in the morning because I take the sleep supplements. I'm also doing one of the immunity vitamins, which has definitely helped me stay not sick. Y'all know I got these little kids and they carry germs like nobody's business. The other biggest thing for me is convenience. So it comes packaged in this really nice box, and all I have to do is every day just pull my vitamins. Like I don't have to pull every bottle and decide what vitamin to take. Like I just pull out my little vitamin and supplement pack, and there it is. It's so easy. It's so convenient. Make sure you tap the link to get 50% off your first Care Of order. Care Of me and Care Of. You're gonna love it, promise. Hey everybody, happy Friday. Welcome back to another episode of Shades of Content, the show that teaches Black millennial mompreneurs how to effectively market their business and also how to stay content while doing it. What does contentment mean? Contentment means that place of peaceful satisfaction. And I don't know if you don't follow me on Instagram, pause. My name is Patrice Camo. I'm a wife. I'm a mom of 3 children. My oldest turned 16 a couple weeks ago. I know I don't look like it. I work a full-time job. I'm a marketing and communications director at a mega church, and I own a content studio, CAMPspaces. This is where we are here today. So if you are new to the Shades of Content family, hi, so nice to have you. It is March. We are wrapping up Women's History Month. And even though that month is a month that women are exalted and highlighted for all the contributions that we make and that we have made every day, you should be acknowledging the woman in your life. And I am talking to women on this show. Everybody is welcome to listen, but in the last episode, right? Niching down, knowing who you're talking to. I'm talking to you, the Black millennial mompreneur who literally does all the things and just needs some hacks. Now, kind of forgot where I was going there, like paused it, whatever. It's fine. So yeah, welcome back. It's Friday. If you heard the past episode, every Wednesday we do these quick contentment hacks, and then Fridays we have full episodes. We're in the space. This is a kind of DIY episode. My amazing engineer, Ty, is here. As always, gang. He's so great. His info is linked in the show notes. If you're in the DMV, he can work with you. And if you're not, fly my guy out, because if you want a quality show that sounds the way mine has sound for 3 years, then you need to hit him up. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm filming it with my Canon camera. I've done these before. So yeah, we got to make it work. We got to make it do what it do. I'm trying to think. Last week, my business turned 5. Okay. Last week, my business turned 5. March 24th, 2018, I opened this space, and we opened as a co-work space in Prince George's County. That is where I live. It, at one point, I don't know if it still is, was the richest Black county in the United States of America. Not sure if that's still the case now, but it is still a place that is filled, very densely packed with African Americans who are highly educated, who work in very high power careers, who send their kids to private school, who do all the things, who are probably working in politics, like a lot of things happen here. And this is where I grew up, and I've been here my entire life. There were no co-working spaces. There were no real co-work communities. And I realized that probably about 5 years before we opened. So that's what, 2014-ish? 4 years. And then I went on this journey to create a community and open a space. And I pulled money from my 401k, and I had these pop-up co-work things every month for about 2 years. I had a baby in the process. I was going to give up and say, you know what, I'm good. I went to real estate school, failed that test twice. And then I got a call from my now landlord saying, hey, I heard you were looking for a space. That was in November, right before the holidays. Actually, it was in late October. And then November came, and I was able to pay the money because I already had it. And we opened the space really seamlessly. And shout out to Kai Petty, who was the brainchild behind what the space looks like. We haven't really changed the space. We switched the couches out, but 95% of what you see in the space is what was here when we first opened. We've hosted national TV shows, global personalities. I mean, so many people have come through here, and I probably should have had a list to kind of go through all the things that this space has been to the community, primarily Black women, right? Since we opened, so we opened as a co-work space, and then about a year and a half in, I realized like that was not the best use of the space. And so I pivoted to a content studio because I was making more money by people or from people who were taking pictures, shooting video, that kind of stuff, creating content. And in 2019, content was something. We had influencers, we had all that stuff, but it's grown tremendously since then. So we pivoted. And Nipsey Hussle was a big part of that. He had passed, and just thinking about the vertical integration thought process that he preached, but also acted with everything he did. That's just when I said I need to switch it up. Did that, made the big announcement that we were a content studio, and then the pandemic happened. So I was like, oh, we about to close. Let it go. I think I mourned for like 2 weeks, and I said, it's going to be what it's going to be. But that pandemic and George Floyd, and I've said this on the show before, but I'm, just kind of reiterating, that was that definitely catapulted the business. And I was then able to comfortably say that I created this space for Black women. We got national media coverage. And then I was afraid that people were going to be okay with creating in their homes. And the pandemic taught us that, no, your home ain't right. And so even more people were looking to create. And from then, even more people started open content studios. And I know that I was in this space, was the inspiration for many people to open their own content spaces. And that makes me feel great. Do I wish we could have collaborated on some of them? Yeah, I've talked about that before, but I believe everything happens for a reason. So to be in business for 5 years, outside of my kids and my marriage and my family, I've never committed to anything longer than 5 years. Just the fact. I'm the type of person that likes to move on. I'm a Sagittarius. I enjoy reinventing myself. I think you should reinvent yourself every 12 to 18 months. Like, give the people something new, look different, change your hair, change your business, change your name, keep them guessing. And this business, in our 5 years of existence, literally has been the most consistent thing outside of my family that I've had. And it's cool. I pat myself on the back for sticking with it through the ups, through the downs. I pat myself on the back for being resourceful. I've been able to make some crazy great things happen from a national standpoint, from a monetary standpoint, from a relationship standpoint. I think that I've handled the 5 years owning this business with so much grace. I've had people come to me with the dumbest, like, what? Like, what? I've had people disrespect my time. I've had people disrespect my insight. I've had people disrespect this space. It doesn't happen often, so I'm not harping on it. We've had some of the most amazing people and beautiful and respectful people. The majority of those people have. But of course, you're going to have your spoiled apples, all, you know, and that comes with the territory. But through it all, I have always held myself. I've always gone high, like the gym of Michelle Obama. You know, when they go low, I've always gone high when I feel like I haven't gotten the credit that I deserve. And I do that in air quotes because end of the day, the only credit I need is from God, period. I think about just the tides of life. We opened in 2018. It's 2023 now. I'm about to be 40. When we opened, I had 2 kids. Now I have 3 kids. When we opened, I had a full-time job, but it was different. Now I have a serious full-time job. So it's just been really, as I think back, it's like, wow, dang. And that's not like a good or a bad wow. It's just like, wow. When I remember the statistic of most businesses not lasting for a year, it is with the most gratitude, thankfulness. I know that's the same thing, gratitude and thankfulness. What other words? It's been magical. And I can't say what happens a year from now. I can't say what happens 6 months from now. If I'm being honest, your girl is a little worn out. So things are shifting, and I am shifting into the next version of me. And that might mean that this place isn't here anymore. That might mean it looks differently. I don't know. But I just want to clap for myself, for my family, for my community, my husband who's been beside me. He don't buy into every idea I have, and I be having a lot of ideas, but this one, he got it from day one and supported it from day one. My kids, who you've heard on episodes before, literally, my oldest son was interviewed, who he just turned 16, and the babies, you've seen them pop their little heads in. When this space is their home. When my daughter comes here, she literally takes her shoes and socks off immediately, just like she would do when she gets to our home or her grandparents' house. To all the family celebrations that we had here. Last year, we had my sister's gender reveal party here. I've had birthday parties. I've honored my relatives who passed away. We've, celebrated them here. I've had communities of my autism sisters, my autism mom sisters here. Oh, wow. It's been great. And thankfully, I have all the content to show it. I got the videos, I got the pictures. So even when these physical walls are no longer inhabited by me and my clients, you can't say we weren't here. So with that, as we end Women's History Month, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to bring this to you and for supporting me in Camp Space and just everything. And for not being, this is so funny. Camp Space is probably not the most common name, but when I opened, I know of 2 businesses that added space to the end of their names. And I'm shouting them out. This is love. This is not off no shady shit. Hair and Space, which is a very beautiful blow dry and hair salon in College Park owned by a fellow University of Maryland Terp. Huru Space, founded by Imani, who's been on the show before. And she even said it on the episode, the name of this business helped her figure out the name for her business. So that shows you, and those businesses, if I'm being honest, are more successful financially than this one is. But to know that I was a part of planting that seed for their branding unintentionally means a lot. And I know I'm on a tangent here, y'all, but 5 years, I think I can do that. I talked about the photos and the videos that live on of this space, but I didn't talk about all the business owners and the creators who created here. They decided that this was where they wanted to build their brands. I don't even know what else matters. I'm okay being I don't know if seed is the right word. I'm okay with being the garden, the space being the garden for which the flowers bloom. And how interesting is that the theme for this 5-year anniversary is bloom. And if you're local and if you've driven by, if you've seen our pictures, we did a whole flower install. Shout out to Cece. Thank you, boo-boo. There's flowers outside of our business to symbolize blooming. Camp is no longer this little flower. Camp is now this amazing floral escape that you walk into, and we have branches and flowers that are now blooming in so many other places because of this garden. And damn, that was a bomb analogy, bruh. Yo, the words be just spitting. So thank you. 5 years, big accomplishment. Not sure how I'm going to celebrate. Y'all know how it goes. I be having all these grandiose ideas, and because I'm the only person doing it, sometimes they don't happen. And that's actually going to be what we talk about on this episode. But before we get into that, let's get into a pretentious P moment. Hey guys, I am so excited that we are going to be celebrating year 3 of this podcast. It's been such an amazing journey. I've learned so much and I've been able to connect with you. But here's what I want. For our 3rd birthday, I want to connect even deeper, and I want to create a real community. So if you tap the link in the show notes, you can be a part of it by supporting our subscription platform. This is kind of unique because you can support at any level that makes sense for you. $3, $5, $8, $10. And this would be your monthly contribution to not only be a part of the Shades of Content community, but also ensure that Shades of Content exists for the long haul. I've said this in episodes before. As much as I love creating this show, it is quite an investment. It is an investment from my time, my team's time, but it's a huge monetary investment. If we're a community, then we all got to work together to keep this content going. I feel like, I've been doing this for 3 years, consistently providing gems, providing resources, providing insight, providing real talk and experiences. And I kind of just want to formalize it a little bit more again so that our community can continue to grow. I'm hoping that you can further commit to this show by joining our community. The link is in the show notes. You can join at any level and what comes with it. So you'll get shout outs in episodes. You will get invites to our live episodes. We're going to start recording live episodes with people in the audience, and only people in our community, only you will be able to come to those shows, those show tapings. They'll be filled with amazing guests, food, drinks, the works, and they'll be happening at CAMPspace. So yeah, you have to be a member of the community to get access to those events. Again, I'll be shouting you out on episodes, and then I'm going to roll out a bunch of different things that will only be available to my community, the real Shades of Content crew. So thanks for helping us get to year 3. I'm excited to see what's coming up next. Tap the link in the show notes to join the community. I appreciate you always. All right, we're back. So for the pretentious P moment, I want to talk about TikTok. Okay. Now, I went the last 4 or 5 years not thinking nothing about it. I didn't want to be a part of it. I think I made download the app once like 2 years ago, and I was like, this is very confusing. I want no parts of it. Deleted it. And then I was like, probably I should. I had a conversation with Liz of Up Cards. You can listen to her episode. I don't remember the number, but she was saying how amazing TikTok was. Also, Ashley of Bridal Babes, Ashley Young, who's also been on the show. Both saying how great TikTok has been for their business. So I said, okay, I started a page for Camp, the business. And then I started to say, let me see what this looks like for my own brand. So I started a page for myself, and I love it. I don't spend that much time on TikTok. Instagram, I'm an Instagram girl. But I do see the value in it, and I do have more fun creating more authentically on the TikTok platform. However, if you pay attention to the news, I know some people who don't, President Biden is really pushing to ban TikTok in the United States because TikTok is created. It's probably one of the only big apps that we use that was not created by an American. It was created by the Chinese. And there's obviously some issues there with the Chinese. There have always been issues there. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, they had a big white ball flying over us. That was China, right? Yeah, okay. One thing I don't do really is history and politics, but there's strife there. And so it's been proven that the Chinese are taking data from TikTok and using it to their benefit. And that's not good. My husband, guys, is a sidebar, works in cybersecurity. He's a cyber analyst, and he's big on it. So when I told him I had a TikTok page, he was like, yeah, I don't think you should have that. I don't think you should have that. So while I get it, while I understand the ban 100%, I feel like it's really going to shake some shit up because TikTok has their foot on the content creation neck. I don't even know if that really makes sense, but they hold a huge market share in an industry that is like $300+ billion. Y'all, the creative industry is huge. Lots of money are spent daily, every second, all in creating content. And to take TikTok off of that table, that's deep. So it'll be really interesting to see how these things go. I don't really care. I'm not going to say I don't care. I don't have a dog in the fight either way. Because my TikTok page only got about 30 followers, right? I'm not really tripping. Now, my Instagram, you take that away because your girl's viral now. We might get into that next week. Period. You take my Instagram, I'm fighting. But yeah, so we'll just see how it goes. If you have a opinion on either side, let me know. Shoot me a DM and tell me what you think about the TikTok ban. Does it make sense? Should we do it? Are you like, y'all being pressed? Fill me in. That's it. That's Pretentious Pete. Now, y'all, let's get into this episode. Okay. So I spent the first part of the episode talking about all the great things that have come from this business, right? 5 years of owning a business. Really amazing thing to celebrate. I was talking about it a few weeks ago with my husband. I got teary-eyed thinking about how we did it. And while I think celebrations are important, I don't want to really talk about how I did it. I want to talk about all the mistakes that I've made in these 5 years because I've made a ton. The list that I have right now has 8. It's probably about 20. I think I'm going to talk about 4 today. And then I think we'll have an episode part 2 where we get into the other 4 because at the end of the day, we always going to make mistakes. But I'm super big on helping people learn from my mistakes. And I think that's why some of the people that I help always go farther than me because I just be helping them like, and I move on versus staying down and figuring the shit out. But that's a whole nother conversation. I told you commitment ain't really my thing. So let's get into the list. The number 1, and these are in no order. This is just how it came to me when I was writing my notes. Y'all know I wrote the notes 10 minutes before we turned the camera on. Okay. I spent too much money on dumb shit. And I did not invest wisely on growth opportunities. Now, I'm not going to get into specifics because you don't never know who watching. But I'll tell you, I definitely pissed away a good $50K. Okay. And that came in various ways, right? Deciding that a trip was a business expense. getting, putting stuff on a credit card, but also spending $5,000 on a website that is beautiful, but it's still sitting in the web draft. It's fully complete, but I haven't launched it yet. Also spending $5,000 on the copywriter who created all the content for said website, all there, doing nothing with it. That's $10K off rip. You guys know we talked about the whole franchise situation. Probably a good $26K. Now, I don't see it being a waste. That's definitely an investment because we can move through it at some point, but maybe not. As I think about what I want my life to be, don't know if I want to be managing franchises. So yeah, just wasting money on dumb shit and not investing in the things that matter. That $5K I spent on a new website, I could have hired a marketing assistant that probably could have got 6-7 months out of that joint. Creating flyers, blasting the flyers all over all the campuses that are around here, managing the social media, like, duh. And could I still do it? Absolutely. But, you really got to be diligent with how you spend money when you own a business. Because for me, it was like, that's not my money. It's the business's money. And when it's not really your money, at least for me, there's no connection to it. Thus, you use it in a very frivolous, careless way. And this is transparency. I have this issue in my personal life as well. If I see money, I want to spend it. It could be on coffee. It could be on who knows. Saving is just not something that is natural to me. That's why I have to put systems in place for it to happen. And so I have those now. And, you know, you live and you learn. Thank God I'm not struggling and we're always able to figure it out. Me and my husband are a great team, and he's not someone who likes to just be spending. And I'm not out here buying Chanel bags and taking extravagant trips. It's not that. Like, things are fine. Bills are paid. But, you know, when you look at the bottom line, you look at that cost and expenses, you're like, why the fuck would I spend all that money on that? Like, I'm not using it. And that leads me into mistake number 2. The second, or another mistake that I made in owning this business for 5 years, is doing it by myself. I have never had a consistent partner in this. I've had assistants, I've had interns, I've had contractors who have come in to do the job that they're supposed to do, but it was usually temporary. Thus, it worked when they were there, but then I was at some point, off to the races by myself. And sometimes that was because there was not the budget to pay them. Who knows, right? Maybe the budget was there, but I spent it on some dumb shit, right? Cue number 1. So doing this by myself, and I've said this before, has been a huge mistake. And maybe mistake isn't the word. Maybe regret is the word. But I don't like saying regret because you learn from everything and everything happens for a reason. But if I go into another venture, the first thing I'm doing is finding a partner. And that might mean that person is the face and I'm the behind the scenes. Who knows? But I don't want to do anything else by myself. That's just not how, that's not how you're supposed to do life. I recently, here we go back to my viral moment, posted something about the value of outsourcing and the value of having help. Why on earth would God put 8+ billion people on the world for us to figure out how to do shit on our own? Does that make sense to you? Absolutely not, because it's not real. You're supposed to have help when you do shit. You're supposed to have help. That's why it takes 2 people to make a human, right? Because like you gotta have another person, just how it works. And all great things, typically they might start out with a solo person, a one, but for them to be great, the team grows. That's just how it happens. My community has absolutely grown, but the team has not. And that could be a character flaw for me. I might make it look like I got the shit all together when really I don't. The next mistake that I made in owning this business for 5 years is moving out of the need to be seen and not out of the need to be of service. And I don't think you realize when you're moving that way, when you're in it, right? But I know, and it's not a bad thing. I wanted to be the first. I wanted to open the co-work space, and then I wanted to have the content studio, and I wanted to be featured in the magazines for the work that I did, and I wanted to have the first franchise of content studios, and I wanted all these things. I wanted Patrice to be the center of it. And let me tell you, it takes a lot for me to admit this, right? First of all, you got to be able to see it, but I'm admitting it, and I wonder if you, busy mompreneur who's trying to do all the things, needs to kind of dial it back and understand, am I doing this because I want to be seen or because I actually want to serve? That's big. So as I think about kind of the earlier decisions that I made, it's like, do those even line up with how I want to live my life? Like 5 years, a year from now, 2 years from now? Because when you do things to be seen, you got to live up to it because people see you, right? And then you have to take on all those responsibilities of the person that wanted to be seen. Versus when you're doing things through service, yes, you're still going to have those commitments. You're still going to have said responsibilities, but it might feel a little different because you're giving, your gifts are being used to help others. And while I do believe that this business has served so many people in so many ways. I know that because people have told me that. People have given reviews and left testimonials that have left me kind of speechless. And that's just been I know that we have served, but I don't know if that's always been my reasoning for it. So definitely acting out of the need to be seen and not be of service. And again, it's not really a bad thing. Like, we want to know that what we do matters. We want to know that we're appreciated. We want to know that we're successful, all the things. I get it. But who are you serving? Who are you helping? Let's be able to answer those questions first and understand, if nobody saw you, but you were still getting the work done, are you happy with that? I had to check myself on that because I was getting mad that people weren't inviting me to speak on their panels. Why would they pick that person? They seen me do that. That's, baby, reel that shit in and really check yourself. Checking yourself is hard, but that was another mistake that I learned in these 5 years, 5 years. And finally, the fourth mistake, and not finally, because I think we are definitely going to have a part 2. The fourth mistake is not acknowledging my weaknesses. And it's one part to acknowledge it, but then how are you acting on it? And then once you acknowledge it and you act on it, you have to follow through. I have not done that. And part of it is because I'm doing it by myself. So when in the time where I've acknowledged it and I want to act on it, but then something else has to be done to correct or to better that weakness or to fix it or whatever, I'll have somebody to help me so I don't have to focus on all the other things, right? It's some of the mistakes are by design. Some of these mistakes that I've listed are because there's just no other way. God damn it. So just make the mistake, because what else is going to happen? And you got to make the mistake to know it's a mistake, right? You can't just have all rainbows and lollipops, because then you literally won't learn. So in these 5 years, I can very easily pinpoint the mistakes so that the next time around I don't make them. And if there is not a next time around, so I can create this show so you can be watching so you don't make the mistakes. So yeah, that was the other one, just not acknowledging my weaknesses. And then even when I did acknowledge it and figured out a fix or strength to help remedy it, not being able to follow through. And that's been interesting. And those mistakes that I've mentioned will have some people throw in the towel. Like, you know what? F this, F you, F this space, F all y'all. That hasn't been me. There's a love for this space that is genuine. It's genuine. I love it. But I will say that after 5 years, it does not feel the same when I walk into the doors. And that's just honest. So again, not really sure what will happen after a month, 2 months, a year. I don't know. I really don't know. And that is a beautiful thing for me not knowing, because I'm just rolling with it. I had a good conversation with my homegirl Keela today. And it was like, the universe is not going to try to trick you. The universe is literally going to take you where you need to go, put you in the spaces where you need to be, even if it's insanely uncomfortable, but everything matters. And the universe gave me this beautiful space. I'm about to get teary-eyed. For 5 years. And I'm so thankful. I really, really am. Like, this is, just means a lot that I was able, that this idea came and I stuck with it. And I didn't let people's nose sway me from the mark, that God blessed me with family and friends who supported me. I could call my friend Chrissy and have her bartend and she would show up and never ask me. I didn't have to pay her. Ty has done countless shows without being paid and always brings his A game. Always. And Jabari and his great team, and Video and Aileen in the Philippines. Hey, girl. I always got to shout Aileen out. And my parents, who come to every event, they don't even be knowing what they coming to. And my sister, they literally be like, what do you got going on? All right, we're there. And the other business owners in Hyattsville, Misha, Candace, the former mayor, Three Little Birds, the Hyattsville, the Arts Society. I'm not going to get the name right. And I just like, it's a surreal place to be in. And it's just funny because when I say I own a space, people really still be like, what you got? What, girl? Ooh. I must be like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, but it is. Because the fact is, this is a gentrified part of Prince George's County. Prince George's County is a black county, but in the municipality of Hyattsville, which used to be black, it is now very white. And I remember having my black clients come here in the city calling me because there were complaints, and feeling like I couldn't allow my customers to be on the porch, on our front yard, because I didn't want my neighbors to feel a certain way. I've had neighbors who literally see me every day call the city before they actually just pick up the phone, or, hey, Patrice, can I just talk to you for a second? So it's actually very meaningful to be here and to bring as many black people as possible. Our window read, Black women are the ultimate creators, for probably about 6 months. And it does not fall. I don't lose any of that. And I get it. I see it. And I understand why I was supposed to do this. Because doing this gave me the material to do this and to talk to you. And this is what I'm finding is really what is bringing me the fire. So thank you so much for patronizing my business. And in this year, someone said to me to just start giving the space, just start offering the space to people. So we're in March, I've donated the space to probably about 4 different organizations at this point. You want this space? Use it. That don't mean you about to send me an email asking. No, don't do that. But just serving and trying to play my part in the bigger ecosystem of Black moms, Black business owners being seen, but being seen in the best light possible. Literally and figuratively, this space has the best light. A full window of natural light, but also the energy in here is so light. And when people walk in here, they feel, they happy to be here. And to be able to offer that means so much. And again, I'm just thankful. Thank you for these 5 years. Stay tuned for what's next. Everything you need is in the show notes. Make sure you connect on social media. If you're new here, pretty heavy episode for your first one, but it's all real. It's all me in a world that ain't all real. But you're definitely going to get real here. I will see you on Wednesday. Quick, short hack, and then another full episode on Friday. Have an amazing weekend. Bye. All right, now, y'all, don't forget to connect with Shades of Content on Instagram at Shades of Content, and with me, Patrice Camo, at Patrice Camo. And also be sure to rate this show, leave a review, and subscribe, because that's actually the only way that we're going to grow. I'll see you next week.